Sometimes it's a straightforward question here to point A to point B. For us, we know that it comes more into that. Sometimes customers see a direct service different from the way we see it, right? What do you think?
Sure. I mean, I think it's important to address the terms correctly so that we are all in the same page. And the MVOCCs, we tend to have a different mentality from the freight forwarders who have a more carrier mentality when it comes to direct and indirect services, right? Services with transshipment.
100%.
So for us, an MVOCC, when we consider a direct service, that means that the same container that we load at origin is the same container that will reach destination, regardless of how it reached that point. So the safety of the cargo is preserved, and the cargo will not be manipulated and transloaded into another container, right? When the opposite to that is a transshipment service, in the sense of
Correct.
We send one container from point A to point B, and in point B that is changed into another container that has cargo that came from different origins and will address the same destination, right? But then the forwarders and the carriers have a different mentality in that regards, right, Felipe? What do you think?
Yeah, it's always a different kind of the way they see it on the service. For us, let's say, I could say that a direct service, it transships via Panama, especially for Latin. When you say something is going direct to Chile and it makes multiple stops, but for a customer could say, oh, but wait, it's stopping in Panama, it's unloading in Panama, and then it's in another vessel. So that's not direct service. Well, for us, it's on the same container. So for us, it's just a direct service. Nobody's touching that box. Nobody's pulling that seal off, right? Until it gets on the final destination. And that's kind of how we kind of want to explain and make it clear that sometimes we see that kind of movement.
So yeah, so as a summary, I would say that for an MVOCC, direct service means same container loaded at origin will reach destination, final destination. The opposite is direct service for a freight forwarder, normally for a freight forwarder, and especially for a carrier, means same vessel that leaves origin will reach destination. So it's important that we're talking about the same issues and we speak the same language when we are addressing the customers.
So I think that the next step for that is how we reach that final destination, because sometimes we could reach that final destination in a different way. Like I said, crossing the Panama Canal. There's two different ways to do it at this point. One is crossing the actual canal on the vessel, taking the whole canal, right? But we can actually unload the container, put it on a truck, go around the canal, and take it to another vessel. That will allow the freight to not have the appointment system to cross the canal, to not have like a congestion when it's happening at the Panama Canal. So that's depending on the carrier that you pick. So those kind of conversation is what you have want to have with the customer. What kind of service works for you, and what kind of service are you looking for?
Sure. And at the end, the world is a very big place, right? So there's many alternative routes to reach from point A to point B, right? I mean, you can use, in Asia, you can use Hong Kong as a transshipment, Singapore as a transshipment, Busan in Korea as a transshipment. There's plenty of options. Normally, as a simplification, the best route is the most direct route. But then the more options you have, the better to, let's say, avoid congestions in a particular part of the world, or to speed up or slow things down, because sometimes you need the cargo to leave your origin country, but you don't need the cargo to arrive before X particular date, So we can play with that along the necessities of the customer.
And I would say, I'm glad to say that as the WWA, we have many direct services, not relying on one single point. So we can reach a country from different hubs in the US. You don't have to rely on a single hub that is probably going to be congested, or that you need to cross the country in order to get to that hub, we have direct services all over the US that can help you out. And like you said, it depending on the customer, what they need. If they don't mind doing the inland transportation and they wanted to do it out of Miami, let's say, we can do it. But we can have those options, right? We can show you, hey, option number 1, option number 2.
Sure.
This has these benefits, this has these benefits. It's up to you.
It's all about communication and understanding the customer and what they're looking for in particular. Sometimes they're looking for price, sometimes they're looking about speed, sometimes they're looking about different things, Normally the direct service tends to have less transit time, less complications, and especially less risk for the cargo, because the cargo is manipulated less times, right?
Correct. Less hands involved, less body involved, right? That's key too.
That's it. But then we also have a very unique possibilities when it comes to some transshipment ports to arrange all water service, let's say, meaning that the cargo is loaded in a container that it's transported by sea from point A to point B. But then also we can have some kind of hybrid solution by having part of the transportation done by road, and that's particularly important when it comes to ports that are very congested at destination, and we can go around that congestion by using ro-ro vessels and trucks that normally are not as congested as the sea freight terminals, right?
We can provide those kind of options, those kind of solutions. Sometimes are extreme, sometimes it's emergency, but other times we know how the system works, right? And we can provide those options and see, hey, you don't have any hurry to get to that point. Okay, we have this option for you, and probably give you a better pricing or whatever it is that we can work with the customers, knowing that is a best solution for them. So I think that's kind of the point too that we wanted to make. Choosing the correct routing, making sure that you understand what options do we have, and not only that, but what works for your customer. I think that's key for our customers to understand and to look for.
Spot on.